When the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile but you have to sigh. When care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but do not ever quit. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and clear the clouds of doubt.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, dear viewers, to a new and exciting episode of your favorite program, Let's Talk, of course, with your favorite host, me, Malik, of course, on your favorite channel in the whole wide world, Huda TV. Today we're talking about a very, very interesting topic. We're talking about a topic that's dear to my heart, the present state in these modern times of the Arabic language. Has the Arabic language been killed? Does it still exist on the face of this earth, or has it been lost by some diluted people who choose to teach their children French and English because it's a language of the elite, the educated, the so-called romantic, and the international language of business? Does it still exist, or does everybody speak just numerous slang languages that are not even mutually intelligible anymore? This is certainly a great topic. I hope you enjoy. This will be an exciting episode, so don't go anywhere. Stay on your couch and in front of your TV. To discuss these issues with you today, we have brought two very important guests. Of course, for the Islamic perspective, we brought a lecturer of Islamic law from Al-Azhar University. You have seen him on Let's Talk many times, and he's back. Alhamdulillah, we're very pleased to have him. He was also the host of a program on Huda TV you might remember called Universal Quran, and that's Dr. Mahmoud El-Danawi. And of course, we have a second guest, a professor of linguistics, an international authority in the world of linguistics from Ain Shams University. Of course, he took his degree, his PhD from Leeds University in the UK. And he's written many, many books, published numerous works on this topic, which is why we brought him. And most notably among them, of course, is mutual intelligibility. I can't even pronounce the word, excuse me. Intelligibility among Arabic dialects. Of course, Dr. Ali Izzat. My Arabic is very bad. I hope you guys forgive me for mispronouncing your name. Dr. Mahmoud, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much.
And Dr. Ali, thank you so much for being here, taking time out of your schedule. Please forgive me. We will blame my Arabic teacher for my poor. Thank you, Dr. Ali.
That's all right. Okay.
And next, of course, we have our studio audience. Thank you guys as well. Assalamu alaikum as well to everybody. Thank you for taking time. You guys aren't going to be off the hook this episode. Someone's going to sing the theme song of Let's Talk, and we're going to ask you lots of questions and make you guys think and have a good time with us, inshallah. And you, brother in the back as well, I see you smiling in the back. We're going to have you sing the theme song, inshallah, before the episode's over. All right, thank you guys. Thank you guys for being here. Starting, Dr. Ali, with you.
That's all right.
What is the condition, the present state of the Arabic language in these modern times?
Mr. Malik, in fact, Arabic is in a dilemma. And we are conspiring against our language and consequently our identity, our Arab identity. First, before we discuss this issue, we should remind ourselves that for 10 centuries, the Arab scholars used a global language, which was Arabic.
SubhanAllah.
And it was the language of many disciplines, such as chemistry, such as physics, such as linguistics, such as astronomy, among others, right? But now, in fact, we have shifted to global languages like English in order to teach our students at the faculties, at the general education, and so on and so forth. Secondly, we may also remind ourselves that the Arab scholars were creative, and they have spread the original or originality of sciences in the Middle Ages. And I may quote Klaus Huber, who said that the Arabs are those who have preserved the heritage of classical originality in the area of the Mediterranean during the dark ages of Europe.
Imagine that.
And in my opinion, they were not influenced by Greek or Indian thoughts, as some alien scholars and Arab scholars, for this matter,
they make those false claims.
State, yes. But now, what is the status of Arabic.
You said we're in a dilemma, Doctor.
Yes. In fact, language as a means of instruction has great influence on the high levels of thinking, that is creativity and originality. You can become more creative in your own language.
Of course.
But unfortunately, because some reason or other, especially as you said in your introduction, the language of the elite.
So-called elite.
Yes, I call it social prestige.
Right.
For social prestige, the so-called language schools and the government experimental schools,
in the Middle
the
East.
national, yes, in the Middle East, especially in Egypt, teach mathematics and science in English.
This is a disaster, I think.
And of course, yeah, this is a disaster,
Right.
because this will affect your vision or view of the world.
Right.
And this is not my opinion. These are the opinions of alien scholars or foreign scholars,
Right.
like Kreiper and Widdowson, like Sapir and Wolf in
Right.
the early 20th centuries. And they said that people are apt to see the world around themselves through their language.
Of course.
This is called a Sapir and the Wolf hypothesis.
Okay.
And they hypothesized that, first of all, language is related to the high levels of thinking.
Right.
Second, one sees the world around him and understands the environment and all concepts through his language.
Of course.
And they went so far as to say through the structure
Of the language.
their language.
And that's another interesting point we'll talk about, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Dr. Ali, do you mind if I go to Dr. Mahmoud just briefly here and say, Dr. Mahmoud, Dr. Ali said we're in a dilemma. SubhanAllah, I think we're in a great dilemma. What is your opinion from the religious perspective when we have this phenomenon here in the Middle East where we teach our kids English and French before we really even properly teach them Arabic? I mean, what is that teaching our children, and what can we say about that as Muslims? Is this jeopardizing our Islamic identity?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Yeah, indeed, such things jeopardize our identity as Muslims in a way, because in some Western communities, nobody is allowed to learn any other language before the age of 10, right? So
Right.
from the beginning, since his childhood, 10 years old, he shouldn't learn or she shouldn't learn any other language except his main language.
Oh, his native language, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
For example, you
Because-
said something about Japan.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Because this definitely will affect his language. If we have, for example, a child who is speaking two languages at the same time,
Right.
he will get confused
Okay.
between whether he speaks English or French or.
Okay, excellent. Thank you,
Yeah.
Dr. Mahmoud. I want to share with both of you really briefly before we go back to Dr. Ali. I live here in Egypt, and I put my son in a nursery for 2-3 days a week. And I told him, please speak to this child in Arabic so he can learn Arabic, because I am not an Arabic speaker and I speak English. He will learn English from me.
Yeah.
They agreed to that. So I go there all the time and they speak English to him. And I said, SubhanAllah, we are living in Egypt. Speak to him in Arabic. I mean, so this is a big problem, a big dilemma.
Yes,
So,
sure.
Dr. Ali, I interrupted you. Please continue.
That's all right. I may disagree before I carry on
Okay, go ahead.
with Dr.
Go ahead.
Mahmoud, because psycholinguistically, that is the psycholinguistic research at the present time, has proved that after the first 5 years, a child can learn or can acquire a foreign language.
Okay.
Because in the first 5 years, his native language or his mother tongue has complete mastery over him. And then if he learns a foreign language after this year, say 5 or 6 years, because you remember some years ago, English was taught at the preparatory schools.
Yeah.
That is when the child was
A teenager.
a teenager.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then we advised the consultancy of English in Egypt to start from first primary year, the first primary year,
Okay.
when the child is about 6.
Okay.
Because, of course, in this early age, he will acquire foreign languages more competently
As a native speaker.
as a native speaker, right? But as you said, this should not be at the expense of
His native language.
Of his native
and our
language,
identity.
of his national and his identity. And this brings us to our point.
Right.
That in language schools and in the governmental experimental schools, so-called experimental schools, science and math are taught in English. And then in some of the faculties of our universities, such as medicine and engineering, some disciplines, some subjects are taught in English. Not only that, but also the MA and the PhD dissertations in most of our faculties should be presented in English. How are you going to develop your national language
like this,
if it doesn't cope with the advances in modern civilization? We are in the age of knowledge, and without knowledge you will be nothing. Not only this, as Mr. Malik said, for the sake of social prestige and
elite and educated romantic people, they think
education, even the uneducated people or the half-educated people, and for that matter, the educated people, all code switch.
So this is another disaster.
Yes, this is another disaster. From English into Arabic and vice versa. And unfortunately, most of them pronounce these words and the phrases in
incorrectly,
the wrong way.
Yeah,
exactly.
And then you have the commodities, the Egyptian commodities, the Egyptian shops and supermarkets, the Egyptian restaurants and cafes have
English,
foreign names.
Yeah.
Have English or French or whatever.
Yeah.
English names.
So what are we doing to ourselves?
So what are we doing to ourselves?
Excellent point.
Right? In fact, we have to formulate rules, to legislate rules in order to obviate all these harmful phenomena.
Right.
And this is another
excellent
story.
point. It's a whole other story. And I wanted to ask Dr. Mahmoud, you took your PhD, I believe, in England. Is that correct?
Yeah.
When you were in England, did they teach you any disciplines in the Arabic language?
No.
Of course not, in English, right?
Yeah.
So, Dr. Ali, here we are in the Arabic world, and we think it's prestigious to speak English. It's a shame.
Well, it's a result of the
colonialism and history of
colonialism and invasion, because usually the invader has the social prestige and the upper hand.
Yeah, right.
And so, in order to imitate him, I use English.
But exactly. Okay, so we said code switching. We were talking about code switching. Is it true in the Middle Ages, Westerners, scholars used to code switch from English into Arabic? Now Arabic speakers code.
The other way around.
Is that true?
Yes.
So scholars
scholars in the Middle Ages used to learn Arabic because it was the medium of instruction and the medium of scholarship in various disciplines. And so they had to learn Arabic.
SubhanAllah. That's a very interesting point. Now it's reversed. Yeah. And Dr. Mahmoud, we know from our Islamic history that a lot of information was transmitted throughout the world in the Arabic language, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, for example, they say Greek philosophy was lost to the Europeans and was given back to them through Arabic and Muslim scholars. So, Dr. Mahmoud, can you also tell us a little bit about the prestige that the Arabic language should have to us as Muslims?
Yeah.
Because the Quran and Sunnah is the language was revealed in Arabic and not in French, English, German, any other language. Yeah. So doesn't that give it a prestige?
Yes, sure. First of all, the Arabic language is a quite rich language. Right? When you try to find, it's about the derivatives and derivatives. Right. And the roots, of Arabic itself, it's quite huge.
It's huge.
Compare it to English, for example. I always give this example when we talk about the word lion. Arabic. It has at least, as far as I know, 30 names in Arabic. But in English, it has got only one name. Right? English has got what's called the phrasal verbs. This does not exist in Arabic.
Or suffixes and prefixes as well. Is that right, Doctor? There's no prefixes. Okay.
Yeah.
which makes it superior, I think. And the amount of root words increases the
We have,
vocabulary
yes,
as well.
trilateral and quadrilateral
Right.
roots on which we can build so many
Words.
words.
And that's why English is incapable, I think, of taking,
Yeah.
of maintaining like a divine revelation, I think.
Yeah. So the Quran was revealed in Arabic because of the richness of the language itself, because of the eloquence it has, because of there are many aspects. So although the Quran recognizes or acknowledges the existence of other languages, because these are among the science of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As he said in Surah Al-Rum, among his science is the variance of your tongues and your colors. Right? So this shouldn't lead us to the conception that we undermine other languages.
Okay,
No, we're
see.
just talking about the Arabic language itself as prestigious as the language of the Quran, the
Yeah,
language
right.
of the Sunnah.
The language of Quran, so not the language of foreigners and French and English and things like of that nature.
Yeah.
But that's an excellent point. We don't want to undermine other languages
Yeah.
as well,
No.
of course. Yeah, we have to show them the respect
We
as well.
have to admit from the very beginning that we are not against learning foreign languages.
Okay, of course.
Because this is
It's a good
an
thing.
asset, of course.
Yeah.
And because this will give you a kind of communication
With more people and
with
open up the
more
way.
people and with more cultures.
Of course, that's an excellent point.
But it should be taught as a foreign language.
Yeah, not as a
Whether
native
English
language.
or French, or not as a medium of instruction.
Excellent point.
Otherwise, it will
Create disaster in the end.
it will impair our identity.
Our identity going forward. You guys in the studio audience, I promised to get a question from you guys, but we're out of time for the segment. So we're going to start the next segment with a question from you guys. You guys at home, stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We're having a wonderful discussion about the present state of the Arabic language, so stay tuned.
بدأنا بسم الله وبالصلاة الله.
Dear viewers everywhere, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The very first revelation in the Quran was a command to read. Iqra. Read in the name of your Lord who created. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, من سلك طريقا يبتغي به علما سهل الله له به طريقا إلى الجنة. Allah will make a path easy for paradise for those who seek knowledge, travel to seek knowledge, attend classes to seek knowledge. And for that, we're going to begin a program which is called Huda Academy. It's a school, but at the convenience of your homes. You can watch and attend the classes wheresoever you are. You can also take the test and get a degree or an ijaza at least while seeking knowledge from the proper sources, inshallah. There will be courses on Aqidah and belief, tafsir, the interpretation and the explanation of the meaning of the Quran, the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Mustalah, and Arabic language, Tajweed, many other things. So expect Huda Academy very soon, inshallah.
Begin with Bismillah and with Salatillah.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to your favorite program, Let's Talk, with your favorite host, Malik, of course, on your favorite channel, Huda TV. We're talking about the Arabic language, the present state of the Arabic language. Is it in a good condition these days or not? Are we in a dilemma? Do people really speak Arabic anymore? Are we teaching our children to speak Arabic? Or are we teaching them to speak the language of the so-called elite, romantic prestige, like the language of Chaucer, Shakespeare, Voltaire, English, French, and other things of that nature? This is a great topic. It's dear to our hearts. We got a lot of hits on Facebook about this, especially from one brother from Algeria, Salim Boubacar, who was very enthusiastic about this topic, and he was fiercely defending the Arabic language, and I am as well, but I just wanted to make this episode to create a little bit of awareness. So having said that, we want you guys to check out this report, and we'll come right back, so stay tuned.
Why was Quran revealed in Arabic and not in French, the language of Voltaire, the so-called language of the elite, educated, and romantic? Why not English, the language of Chaucer, Shakespeare, and the international language in this postmodern age? Well, both French and English contain numerous problems that make it incapable of withstanding the demands of time and accuracy. Academics are working to improve its script because of the problematic existence of silent or surplus letters, such as the letter S in the word island. In classical Arabic, the addition or subtraction of letters is impossible due to its unique trilateral root system. So why Arabic? The number and construction of its root words are extremely important because they form the basis of communication. Each pair of the 28 Arabic letters in whatever order combined is potentially capable of giving a root word, provided that in case of a verb the second letter is doubled. Then each trio of letters in whatever order combined is again capable of giving a root word. The number of words thus formed by permutation and combination amount to thousands. Some combinations are yet to be utilized, but the number of actual roots in use is no less than 25,000. Now, each one of these 25,000 roots is further capable of yielding a further crop of words by a small variation of vowel points. Thus, the language acquires immense capabilities of exact expressions, unparalleled in French, English, or any other language. Other languages having much smaller number of root words need the help of prefixes and suffixes. For example, ancient Sanskrit, although richer than any other Aryan language, contains only about 2,000 roots, which have to receive the aid from 25 prefixes and 200 suffixes. Classical Arabic neither uses prefixes nor suffixes, and because of a such greater number of root words available, its vocabulary meets with every human requirement, with its treasure of simple words. 90% of its roots contain 3 letters only. These letters are economical and easy to hear, remember, and pronounce. The order in which the letters are combined is also sure and definite. If the order of the letters is changed, it gives quite different roots. The unique structure of its roots, the vastness of its vocabulary, the presence of the maximum number of synonyms, and the philosophy and reason behind its words show how superior classical Arabic is in comparison to any other language on earth.
Assalamu alaikum, welcome back, you guys. After watching that report, I hope you guys feel and learn to love, if you don't already, the prestige that the Arabic language enjoys. It's not something to be ashamed of, but something to be very proud of. SubhanAllah, that we are Muslims and Allah has benefited us with this, with the beautiful language to reveal His revelation in. We're having a great time with Dr. Mahmoud Adnawi from Al-Azhar University. Thank you for staying with us. Of course, Dr. Ali Azad as well, the author of the Mutual Intelligibility Among Arabic Dialects. This is a great and interesting topic, and I'm very thankful to have both of you. Of course, we got the studio audience. I didn't get back to you guys in the first segment. Who has a question? Go ahead, tell us what your name is, where you're from, and if you are a native speaker of Arabic or not, and what your opinion is about this topic as well. Go ahead, brother.
Bismillah ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum to everybody.
Alaikum
My name is Hussam Eddin Alam. I'm a student at the Faculty of Sharia and Law, the fourth year at Al-Azhar University.
Excellent.
I'm Egyptian, so I'm a native speaker of Arabic. And this is something that I take great pride in, actually. As for my own perspective with regard to today's topic, I believe that it's a very important one, and it's very wise of you guys to discuss this topic at this point of time, because I do actually totally agree with Professor Ali that today the Arabic language is in a very big dilemma.
Exactly.
And this is why this brought to my mind a very urgent question, and I'm sure it came across the minds of many of our viewers out there,
Right.
which is based on the very alarming statement, Professor Ali, which you started off your talking today with, which is the Arabic language is in a dilemma today,
Right.
and that there are many conspiracies being made against it. So, as for the first point, what brought us exactly to this point, and who's behind such conspiracies?
Excellent.
And what should be our stand that we are supposed to take against such steps? And
Excellent.
as for the second part of my question, it goes to Professor Mahmoud Adnawi.
You're a professor from the university, right?
Yes, exactly.
Very good.
From an Islamic perspective, to what extent it is an Islamic requirement to teach, to learn Arabic and to teach it to young children and to young kids?
Excellent. Thank you for that excellent question.
Thank
Your
you
thoughts?
very much. This is a good question. I talked about the conspiracies against ourselves. But more serious is the conspiracy from abroad, alien conspiracies from people who are versed in linguistics and language planning and language policy, which is a branch of sociolinguistics called applied sociolinguistics. Now, when a scholar or a linguist, who is well known all over the world, David Crystal, in his recent book called English as a Global Language, and he started with enumerating or counting the privileges of using English all over the world as the language of science and computer sciences and technology and other disciplines. And then he goes on to say, within the past 100 years, the last 100 years, 50 world languages have been extinct. They disappeared. And he hopes in the future that English will be the only global language.
This is a terrible thing.
Right? Now, when we come to the conspiracy, I think the United States and Great Britain, during the regime of Nasser, and he was trying to establish what he calls Al-Qawmiyya Al-Arabiyya through
a united Arab country.
the United Arab
Okay.
countries,
Isn't it-
through Arabic language and Arabic culture, even in Africa. I was in Somalia at that time. Anyhow, they agreed that in order to obviate the Arabic language and the culture from this world, they have to encourage the local dialects, to the extent that another scholar, Charles Ferguson, in 1959, in a journal, linguistic journal called Word, said that the Arabs, especially Egyptians, suffer from linguistic schizophrenia because they have two different languages, not two different dialects, two different languages. That is the colloquial language, which is used in certain situations, like conversation, like giving orders to
daily life,
instructions, and in their daily life. And another language, which is standard Arabic or classical Arabic, which they have to learn as a foreign language in their schools. And so they started to give the Egyptian scholars some scholarships, some grants. They started with 10 in the 60s, who were sent to Michigan and Texas, and they started to formulate the rules of Egyptian dialect.
On purpose, in order to enforce
On purpose. And there were other grants for, say, Jordanians, for Gulf people, for Palestinians, for Saudi Arabians, in order to dissect their dialects and standardize them.
In order to promote?
In order to promote these dialects at the expense of the mother tongue. And then he concludes that within the coming 200 years, my prognosis, that is...
This David Crystal.
No, not David Crystal,
Oh,
Charles Ferguson.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Ferguson's prognosis is that there will be many Arabic languages in the Arab world. And he thinks that it will be Egyptian Arabic, in Egypt of course, Sudanese Arabic, Syrian Arabic and Northern African Arabic, Maghribi, based on or around the Maghribi dialect. Now, if we are not aware of this planning and the policy, our language will be threatened. Right? And this is another answer of how to cope with the advancement of our language.
Next, thank you.
Which is,
Thank
I
you
leave
so
now
much.
the floor to Dr. Mahmoud.
Go ahead, I think.
Yes.
Mentioned, yeah. So how can we individually, collectively, and institutionally respond to such
Yes, this
conspiracies?
is the main point. I leave this question to
Mr. Malik, inshallah. Okay.
Mr. Malik.
But before we answer that, let's go to Dr. Mahmoud. I know you had asked him the second question. Is it obligatory for Muslims?
Yes.
It's an Islamic requirement to learn Arabic.
For all Muslims, not
Yes.
just Arabic speakers, all Muslims.
For all Muslims, yes.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a Muslim, for example, who's not an Arab, is not obliged to learn Arabic. But he might be obliged to memorize some, like
Right.
Al-Fatiha, for example, some short
Some
surahs.
verses.
Right?
Okay,
But he
right.
can't do the rest of his acts of worship, for example, in his language, whether French or German or English.
No problem.
Right? So it's not obligatory for every non-Arabic Muslim to learn Arabic anyway. Just know
The requirements, the basics,
requirements.
yeah,
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
But it would be a wise thing to further your knowledge, to familiarize yourself with the Arabic language.
but that would be highly recommended, for example, for him to learn Arabic, because he will be familiar with the Arabic culture. He will be
Yeah.
able to read the
Quran.
Arabic old or classical books, the Arabic manuscripts, and
Yeah,
to be familiar with the Quran itself.
yeah,
Because the Quran, if you read in any other language apart from Arabic,
it's not
it will not have the same
effect on you.
effect. Yeah.
So we can say from the Islamic perspective, we can't say it's obligatory, but it's highly recommended.
Yeah.
And of course, the basic requirements are in Arabic, the prayer, etc. But otherwise, it would just be very wise to learn Arabic to further your Islamic knowledge. I think that's
Yeah,
a great
because
point.
even some scholars said you can read the Quran even if it has been written as transliteration, for
Right.
example, in Latin.
Right, with
figures.
BISMI,
Yeah,
like this.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
excellent,
right.
excellent. Thank you, Dr. Mahmoud. Actually, I wanted to ask you two brothers. You guys are faithful, so let's talk. You guys are from Bosnia, I believe. Maybe we can hand in the back there, this brother. I know that you speak fluent Arabic, mashallah. I've heard you speak fluent Arabic, and
Trying to speak it.
and you speak English as well. And your native language is Bosnian. But what did you learn first, Arabic or English?
In the school, we learn English at first.
Oh, so in Bosnia you learn Bosnian,
Yes.
and then English.
Bosnian and then English.
So where did you
Arab-
pick up the Arabic then?
What?
How did you learn Arabic then so well?
We have Islamic schools, the Islamic
Ah.
schools, and we have learned Latin also and Turkish also in
Oh,
this
subhanallah.
Islamic school.
Yeah, that's very good. Okay, very nice. And I want to ask you also, do you speak like a nice, I believe, would you say you speak a classical Arabic or a modern Arabic or an Egyptian Arabic? What type of Arabic did you learn?
Classical Arabic in the schools.
Okay, how do you feel when you go around? I know you live in Cairo. How do you feel when you go around and you hear people speaking different slangs? Does it confuse you? Do you like
Yes,
it?
it's a little bit confusing. Yes.
Do people look at you like you're strange when you speak?
Yes, they see that I'm not an Egyptian. From the first word I speak it, I see it.
Yeah, of course, you know.
Yeah,
Excellent. Thank you for that excellent point. Subhanallah, it's nice to have a view of a non-Arabic
yes,
speaker.
sure.
Yeah.
But is it classical Arabic or modern standard Arabic? Because there are certain levels. Classical Arabic.
Classical Arabic in our
It
schools
will
in
sound
Bosnia,
rather
in Islamic
peculiar,
schools.
Yes.
In
Islamic
Islamic
schools.
schools. Well, what is the difference between classical Arabic and modern standard Arabic, doctor?
We have levels of or standards of language.
Okay.
We have the pre-Islamic language,
Okay.
which is rather in Jahiliyyah.
Right.
It's classical Arabic, but rather difficult.
Very.
And then in the Muslim era, we have first the classical Arabic, and then now we have modern standard Arabic,
okay.
right? And of course, some obsolete words disappeared from modern standard Arabic.
Okay.
There is a kind of agreement as to the structure and the phraseology of the
A
language.
compromise of sorts
A
of the
compromise.
syntax and grammar.
Exactly.
Ah, I see.
Due
Right.
to, of course,
The difficulty.
the means of the media, the
Right.
mass media,
Okay.
the television, the radio, the newspapers. And
Standardized.
This is the modern standard Arabic. And of course, we have the language of the educated, which is a mixture of
code
modern
switching.
standard Arabic. Yes,
Diglossia,
modern
two languages
yes,
in one.
modern standard Arabic. And these are also used in, shall we say, interdialectal situations.
Okay.
When I meet, say, a Jordanian or a Palestinian.
Yeah,
or
you revert to the standard.
Yes, I try to mix my dialect with
to meet in the
standard
middle, as we
in
could
order
say.
to make a compromise.
We have
yes,
one.
so
Thank
we
you.
have 5.
Thank you, Doctor. We have 1 minute before the break, but Dr. Mahmoud, I wanted to get this in here. As a professor at Azhar, you're giving lectures to Arabs, non-Arabs. What language, what Arabic are you using in your instruction, in your lectures? English, French?
Unfortunately, I don't use Arabic. This is the biggest problem. I'm using English.
But you are in the English department.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right. Okay.
Yeah.
What about the other departments that are the classes are conducted in Arabic? Egyptian Arabic?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on the faculty itself. Like, for example, we have now the Faculty of Languages, so all departments run in different languages, like French, German, Spanish. But other faculties, like Faculty of Law or Theology, the classes are run totally in Arabic. And there was, I think, a decision by the university principal that all students must speak classical Arabic.
So you have an entrance exam or something like that to determine their level of classical Arabic?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Excellent. That's an excellent point. All right, you guys stay tuned for more Let's Talk. Don't go anywhere.
Hoda TV would like to know what you think of our programs. What do you like about Hoda TV? How can we improve? What are your favorite programs and why? Who are your favorite presenters? Let us know via email, Facebook or Twitter, and then tune in to our new program, Viewers Pulse. We want to hear your opinions, so let us know. All of this and more in Viewers Pulse, only on Hoda TV.
Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to your favorite program, Let's Talk. Of course, I'm your favorite host, Malik, on your favorite channel, Huda TV, and we're talking about the present status, the condition of the Arabic language in this 21st century. Of course, it's a little bit ironic we're talking about the Arabic language using the English language, but that could be another topic for another show. I'm still joined by Dr. Mahmoud from Al Azhar University. Thank you for staying with us. And of course, Dr. Ali, a great linguist known all around the world. Thank you for taking time to be here. And of course, you guys in the studio audience, thanks a lot for staying with us. I wanted to take time to talk about the linguistic complex here and how can we adjust Arabic or adapt it to deal with modern society as we're going forward. For example, I live in Egypt. A bridge in Egypt, they call it a kobri. That's a Turkish word. Yeah. A bedroom, they call it an oda. That's a Turkish word. Yes. A computer is it's an English word. I mean, there's many words that technology is coming in Greek and English, and we're not prepared. We don't have a language plan, I don't think, going forward. Dr. Ali, can you address this problem?
Yes, sure. First of all, we should have a national language. Otherwise, we shall lose our identity.
It should be classical Arabic or modern standard Arabic.
Modern standard Arabic.
Okay.
It should be a language.
Okay.
And regrettably, the Jews, for example, created a national language when they occupied Palestine. They revived the Hebrew, which was a dead language. It was one of the Semitic family of languages, right. Including Arabic, Hebrew, Syriac, and Aramaic.
And some Ethiopian languages also, right?
No, Ethiopian is not a
different family. I'm sorry, go ahead, Doctor. I'm sorry.
It's a Hamite from the Hamite family, yes. Anyhow, they revived their language by adopting planning,
right,
and policy. Right. Language planning and language policy.
Okay.
They started to translate or make the technical terms
into Hebrew.
Into Hebrew.
Right.
And they imposed their use by the force of law.
Right.
To all the departments, to all the faculties,
to ministries and
ministries,
right.
and so on and so forth.
Right.
Now, in our case, we have no national policy for teaching either Arabic or foreign languages like English.
Here in Egypt.
Here in Egypt.
And throughout the Middle East as well, or we can speak for Egypt
and
specifically.
in the other Arab countries.
Okay.
In fact, there is no national policy for teaching Arabic and foreign languages.
Okay.
Although we have possibilities through the language academies, the
Right.
Arabic language academies, which are disseminated all through the Arab countries. We have in Tunisia, in Syria, in Egypt, we have language academies which may standardize the modern standard Arabic, start to use technical terms in science,
Right.
in
Any kind of technology.
technology,
Science, technology.
yes, computer sciences or
Right.
computational sciences, and many other disciplines. So we have to make use of the efforts of
Right.
the language academies. They can compile dictionaries and lexicons for new terminology.
Right.
You see. However, Arabicize these
Words, or make a
words,
new word.
or make new words,
Let the French do it.
or borrow the words, because the loan words are usually
Loan words, that's the term, right.
the loan
Right,
words,
right.
yes, are usually subject to the phonological patterns of the native language.
Right, so they
So
change
if-
it to adjust themselves.
If
yeah.
I say television, I don't say television or television.
Yeah, you
I say
adjust it.
television because the stress falls on the ultimate syllable, the final syllable in Arabic words.
Right,
So I
right.
am adapting
Right.
my phonological system to Arabicize these words.
Yeah, right.
This is one. Secondly, we have to teach the subjects, whether mathematics or science or whatever,
In Arabic.
in Arabic, whether in the language schools or in the foreign or private universities or the experimental schools. We
Okay.
have also to write the research work in Arabic, otherwise it won't develop at all.
Yeah, right. It's not going anywhere, right?
Yes,
Yeah, of course.
It will go nowhere.
Of course.
So we have to write whether MA or
PhDs
PhD
in Arabic.
dissertations, research work should be in Arabic in order to cope
Right.
with the modern advances.
In civilization.
As I have said, we are in the age of knowledge, in the 21st century, and we have to cope with
Right.
the advances in these
Of new
and then
technologies.
we have to legislate rules to restrict the use of English and the other foreign languages in the commodities, in
Right.
the names of shops and streets and whatnot,
Exactly.
in order to preserve our identity.
I was downtown in Cairo here, and I saw a sign that said Alif Noon, and then the and sign, and then Wow, Ta, I think. And I said, what does this word mean? And I sounded out, it said in and out.
In and out. Yes,
I mean,
yes.
come on, you know.
In
It's a joke.
Arabic.
Yeah.
Sometimes they write these names in Arabic script.
Yeah, that's what I was talking. It was an Arabic script. I
One is
said,
writing 3 corners in Arabic.
Right.
3 corners
Oh, right.
stretch.
yeah.
And he doesn't know
That's
how
funny.
to say stretch.
Yeah, that's funny.
Stretch.
Yeah,
he,
yeah.
he puts the glottal stop at the beginning to obviate the this difficulty.
Right, excellent point. Thank you, Doctor. Dr. Mahmoud, what are you pessimistic looking forward? Do you think the Arabic language is in a bad state, or do you think that we?
Yes, sure.
Do you think? But when you see people like the Bosnian brothers that speak classical Arabic, doesn't it give you optimism?
Oh yes, this makes me very happy.
Yeah.
And I still, and alhamdulillah, the Arabic language is still in a good condition. But I get confused when I go in the middle of some big streets in Cairo, for example. You find all shops. And right, everybody who has a small shop, he says, for example, supermarket, and then hypermarket, and then mini market, and then about even names of things. Like, for example, here, I challenge everyone, ask any Egyptian about what does the word direction, like steering wheel.
Yeah.
He doesn't know the Arabic word.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
use direction, we use garage.
Yeah.
Nobody can use the Arabic because we don't know the Arabic.
Garage, that's a good point.
It's not a problem with the Arabic, the problem is with us. We don't know how to make the Arabic language flexible, as Professor Ali said.
Arabicize these words.
Arabicize these words.
Arabicize
I
these
believe the
words.
French, they do that too. They
Yes,
take a
the
word,
French,
and
yes.
like you said, we have to deal with it, you know, and look at ourselves first. And subhanAllah, I hear people on the bus answer the phone and say, "Allo." I
Yes.
said, subhanAllah, it's very funny. I mean, we should use our own words. This brother, actually, Brother Taib in the back, you had talked to me a little bit. Can you hand the back, Mike? I'm sorry. You had told me your parents are from Somalia, right?
Somalia.
No, alhamdulillah.
And you said many years ago the Arabic was the national language of Somalia?
Yeah, it used to be the now.
Yeah, subhanAllah. But now it's, what's happened now?
Extinct.
Now, it got extinct.
They use the local
They
dialects.
use the Somali language.
But what do the Somali people think? Do they want to use Arabic as their universal language, or it's a controversial issue maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good, controversial issue.
Sure.
Okay, excellent point.
Yes.
Is that 'cause-
To justify your point, I was in Somalia from 62 to 64. And I was at the National Assembly of Somalia for translation. And Nasser, of course, was
the president of Egypt at that time.
The president of Egypt, and he was stressing this matter of Qawmiyya Arabiya. And
United Arabic.
Yes, and he emphasized that Arabic should be introduced into Somali. And we succeeded. In fact, if you were young, it's still.
He wasn't born
we
yet.
succeeded
He wasn't born yet.
together with the embassy and the people of the cultural center there to introduce Arabic in the primary school in Somalia in order to be a compulsory subject. Although the Russians, the Chinese, the Americans, the British were fighting to introduce the Somali language into English script.
Like in Turkey, for
and
example.
They succeeded.
Ah.
Unfortunately, they succeeded because of using their money and their influence in the Gulf. And Somali, although 100% of the Somalis were Muslims,
Right.
they are in dire need of
Yeah.
learning Arabic.
Right.
But finally, Somali, and I think till now, if your
parents maybe know,
yes, Somali language is written in Latin alphabet.
Is that true? Oh, it's written with Latin. Oh, just like in Turkey.
Yes,
Ah, right.
because
Yeah, okay.
the Somali language was not written.
Was
It
not
was
written.
spoken like our Nubian dialect.
Yeah, exactly. Good
Yes.
point. Yeah.
But because they have their influence,
Right.
the Europeans.
Yeah, do that too. Yeah. But we should introduce Arabic, but not at the expense of the local language, right? Because then we would just be like colonialist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Introduce Arabic without making the native language extinct. I'm sorry, brother. Go ahead.
Oh, yes.
Also, like Somalia and like the language, it inherits like an Arabic words.
Okay.
Because since I've been learning Arabic in Egypt,
Right.
I see new words in Arabic, which I know in Somali.
you
Oh, you already use. Like,
Like
give us an
it's-
example. Aki.
For example, Sofra. Sofra al-Halla is,
Yeah, exactly.
is Halla in Arabic.
Okay. What else?
And many other words.
Surwal.
Sarwal.
What does Swal mean in
Sarwal,
Arabic?
which means
Like بطلون.
Oh, okay. Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
And so many,
Many.
many Arabic.
Kursi also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But politics, of course, interferes in,
Yeah.
in everything. And Somalia was in need of what we call in linguistics lingua franca. Because
yeah.
the Somali dialect in the south
Different than
is
the
not
north.
intelligible
In the north.
from Hargeisa, for example. In
What?
Hargeisa, if one comes from Hargeisa to
Somaliland. Or
Mogadishu, would you understand?
do
each
they
other?
understand each other?
Would you understand
From
each
the
other?
north, from the south?
Hargeisa, from the north. In what language do you speak? Somali.
Okay.
Good.
They have different dialects in
Oh,
tribe.
yes.
Okay.
In our time, they used to speak in English.
Oh, okay.
Because in
Subhanallah.
Hargeisa, the formal language was English.
So they need a lingua
because of
franca.
the English occupation, of
Oh,
course.
subhanallah. Yeah. In
But-
Djibouti, they speak Italian, I
In
think.
Djibouti, they speak still, yes.
French, yeah. So it's become a disaster. Brother, do you have a question?
I was just going to mention about the basically Somali alphabet is in Latin, but it's funny because they actually like, for example, C is like Ain in Arabic, and they made X like a hat, so it's like the English alphabet, but they added letters that
to make
from
it fit.
Arabic as well.
Yes.
Okay, instant
which
point.
Which is really funny.
But from the lingua franca, do you believe, Dr. Mahmoud, it should be Arabic among Muslims? Because, for example, in Nigeria, the lingua franca is English. Wouldn't it be nice if the lingua franca, and at least in Muslim countries, was Arabic? I mean, wouldn't it be better?
I think it's better to use the Arabic alphabet.
Yeah, it's better to use Arabic. Sure. At least we're familiar with it then.
Yeah.
Like in Turkey, they used it for years, and then I think Kemal Ataturk came, and he changed that.
He changed that into the Latin
letters, yeah.
Latin letters, of course, to the detriment of
Islamic civilization there.
Of their civilization and their religion.
Of course, yeah.
And the point is that we have about 1 million and 3 or 4 hundred millions Muslims.
Of course.
And on the other side, the English-speaking countries have the same number.
Right.
So if we can use Arabic as a standard or as a modern standard language for all these numbers, we will at least balance.
Yeah, make a balance.
Yes, make a balance. Otherwise, David Cecil's prognosis will
be correct.
Come true.
But maybe in 100 years, maybe we'll be speaking Mandarin. Maybe in 100 years, we'll be speaking Mandarin.
That is what I said to David Cecil. I commented. I said, on what criteria are you relying? On numerical expansion or assessment? The Chinese have the same number.
Yeah.
They are about 1 million and
a billion and so on.
3 or 400 million. So maybe Chinese will be the global language.
Who knows? Yeah.
He says maybe. Maybe. And he also relies on the use of the internet. We have, and this is also one of our faults, because you have about 10 languages used on the internet.
Only, okay.
The first is English,
of course,
which is responsible for about 84% of the material. Next comes Chinese.
Oh, okay, right behind. Yeah, right behind.
Chinese, and then German, and then French, and then Spanish, till the 10th language, which does not include Arabic.
SubhanAllah, it's very bad.
And this is, of course, and it was considered the 6th international language.
Right, and look where it's fallen. Yeah.
At the United Organization. Now, they do not
SubhanAllah.
Recognize it.
Thank you, Dr. Ali, for your excellent for your thoughts. And
it's regrettable.
It's regrettable. We have to end the episode now, but it was very nice to have you, and I hope to have you in the future to expand on this topic about the linguistics and the Arabic language. Dr. Mahmoud, as always, it's always a pleasure to have you, and we're waiting for you to present more programs at Huda TV as well. I enjoyed Universal Quran. And you guys in the studio audience, thank you guys for staying with us again. It's always nice to have you, and inshallah, we look forward to have you in another episode. And I won't make you sing this episode, but if you come back, you'll sing the song, okay? I'm just teasing you. Thank you, guys. All right, you guys at home, I guess the lesson of today's episode is to speak Arabic. But wait a minute, I don't speak Arabic, so I better learn Arabic first, and then I'll tell you guys how to learn Arabic. So, well, we do have some emails, actually. Brother Mohammed Shugaiba from Nigeria. He says, keep up the good work. Thank you so much, everybody at Huda TV. Thank you, Brother Muhammad from Nigeria, and thank you for watching, everybody at home. So, until next time, we leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're treading seems all uphill, when things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're treading seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the dips are high, and you want to smile but have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but do not ever quit. Success is a failure turned inside out. Let's talk and clear the clouds of doubt. Success is a failure